everyone's busy, they've got things to do. So you need to do this in a way that is actually fun and enjoyable, short. The meetings always start on time and finish on time so that people know that this is actually going to be a very high-end value add.
Warning: Damian Andrews' growing revenue and profit, if implemented, will put more money in your pocket. Please use with caution.
Adaptability and change. Now, these are things within a business that is critical to staying ahead of the competition. One of those things, change is something that people shy away from. They don't they avoid. From my experience working with companies, is that they generally don't have a process to consistently implement change, which is really, this is where you really hurt your competitive advantage, because what you want to be doing is you want to constantly stay ahead of the crowd. And this is where, if, for example, if you look at an iPhone, take whichever phone you want. Well, I use iPhone, so I'll take it from that perspective, is that when the new iPhone comes out, the old one wasn't obsolete. It was still very, very functional, had all the pretty much most of what's there. But what they've done is they've taken it a progressive step forward. And you need to be in a place where you can make those innovations. Otherwise, you find yourself in a difficult situation where you have to make rapid changes really quickly. And I had that with one of my clients where they hadn't made any changes in how they recorded the time that their workers were doing. And this was an engineering company where they did a lot of fabrication in a workshop. And what they were doing, and was a second generation company, it had still using a paper time card system. So what they were doing is, employees were working on a particular project. They would then fill out the time card, and then like when I say fill out time card, that is a piece of paper, a card, literally a card. They'd write on it what project they worked on. That would then go into a little basket. The receptionist or admin people would collect that. Then they'd go through that and enter that manually in and record the time against the project. Very, very cumbersome, certainly not as accurate as it could be. And from that perspective, they then had to, it became difficult, obviously, and they're looking for ways of innovating. And we decided to put in place a software that would do that for them. And so what they were doing, it was an app that went on the phone. So we're talking about older gentlemen that have been working in the company for 50 odd years. Oh no, sorry, they were 50, working in the company for 30 odd years. And they had to go through that change. Now, fortunately, there's ways of dealing with that and making that change happen quickly. And I ran a training program for them where within 2 hours of that training program, I talked them through what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And I'll talk about that in another video. And they very quickly downloaded the app. During the training, about half of them had downloaded the app and started logging in and using it, which is rare. Normally that doesn't happen, but there are ways of delivering that information. But this is where it is really important to have a system in place, a regular system, a continuous improvement system, where you bring that forward. And way you can do that, and one that I've implemented many times with clients that I work with, is that you create a continuous improvement meeting. The name is exactly what it is. You're going through that process of continuously improving how things operate. And the first meeting, you invite your division. You don't want to make it any more than 10 or 15 people max. Probably 10 is better, but I can do it with 15. And you ask everyone to bring their problems to the meeting for the first meeting, and then you go through those problems, list them out, you sort them into an order of priority. And then you get once you've got that in an order of priority, you get them all to ask, well, can we fix them all at once? Now, obviously the answer is no, it can't be done. And from that perspective, then you go through and work out, okay, which ones do we need to fix? And you've put it in an order of priority. So usually it's the top few. And if you focus on fixing those problems, everyone together, and everyone has tasks to do, and you put in a system in place where everyone does those tasks and you move that forward, and then they come back and fix those problems. And so what I've also found from doing that is people will be creative with that list because they've got that list. They'll actually work together outside of these meetings and solve those problems. And you want to make the meetings short. They need to be short. You don't want it to be cumbersome. Everyone's busy. They've got things to do. So you need to do this in a way that is actually fun and enjoyable, short. The meetings always start on time and finish on time so that people know that this is actually going to be a very high-end value add to their workload without making it difficult for them. And once you get into that mindset of facilitating it in that way, having this weekly, I do it weekly, continuous improvement meeting, no more than half an hour. And if you don't get stuff done, you don't get stuff done. The meeting finishes on time. But at the end of the meeting, everyone has a task to do, and they come back the next time with a report on where that task is at. I also implement with that what I call the no excuse policy, and I'll talk about that separately in a different video. But what that does is where people come back and when they've got a task to do, people set their own tasks. If they come back and they haven't done the task, then they can't give an excuse. All they can say is they didn't get it done. And there's no blame or anything like that. It's just, I didn't get it done. That no excuse policy creates a sense of not urgency, accountability. It creates a sense of accountability with the employees, and they actually go forward and do things more. They just get things done. It's quite amazing how the no excuse policy works tremendously in creating that accountability and getting tasks done. So what you want to do with that is this, to go through this process of creating massive change all at once is really, really difficult within an organization. And if you're not constantly updating what you're doing, then you're falling behind. And this is where that adaptability is really, really important. So implementing the continuous improvement program where you have a weekly meeting, go through the problems, sort that out, and move that forward. Over a period of 12 months, the business changes dramatically. It continues to move forward. It continues to stay ahead of the competition, and things become easier. It becomes really difficult if you don't do that. So implementing that change, adapting to change, and having that innovation is really, really critical to your operations and to make sure that you stay ahead of the crowd. Hopefully that's been helpful, and I look forward to chatting to you again in the future. It's Damien Andrews here, and helping you grow your revenue and profit.